Welcome to Hoops Junction, where we break down hoops and hoopla. Basically, what's really hoops, what's really genuine, and what's basically hoopla, what's something that you really need to ignore. Now, the Golden State Warriors came through with a big on the road win against the Houston Rockets, 106 to 104. DeMarcus Cousins was in full effect there. He had 27 big ones, great passes, a lot of rebounds. The Warriors actually rebounded the Houston Rockets, who have taken the season series 3-1, and they were really on the verge of sweeping the series if you really think about it. Because if I would have told you Warriors are going into Houston without KD, you would have been like, okay, put it in the books for the Houston Rockets if they're at full strength, which they basically were at full strength. And now a lot of people are basically wondering, was this a big win for the Warriors? Does this tell you more about the Warriors, or does it tell you more about the Houston Rockets? Now, the Warriors, like Steph said, it was a big statement game for the team, something that they really need to put out there and really come through and win. The Houston Rockets, after the loss, basically said, like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. We were rolling, like a 9-game win streak or whatever the case is. We're fine where we are. We're confident in how we're gonna do everything. That's a lot of hoopla. That for the Houston Rockets to think like, okay, we're fine. We won the regular season series, and that just gives us more confidence going into the playoffs. Last 15-game stretch, and this game really didn't mean anything. That's a bunch of hoopla. It's a bunch of BS. Because every single time the Houston Rockets beat the Warriors during the regular season since last year, since really like 2 years ago, all they've been talking about is how they built for the Warriors, built to beat the Warriors, and we're made just like they are, and we have star power just like they do. We control the tempo just like they do. We're ready to take them down. And every time there's a game that matters, i.e. Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals, i.e. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, both games where the Houston Rockets were winning the game, they couldn't close the deal. So it's just like all this regular season success is like good. We got our hoops together. We know how to beat this team. But then when the chips are on the line, when we are expected to win, like in that when they were up 3-2, the people expected them to close out the Warriors. Most people did, but they didn't. So and they had two cracks at it. So that being said, it's just like when it's time to seal the deal, you guys are really never there. And the fact that every single time the Houston Rockets lose to the Warriors, this past game, what did they blame it on? They said, well, hey, is it going to be a factor that they don't shoot threes well the next time they play Warriors? I doubt it. James Harden went 2 for 12 from 3. Amon Shumpert 0 for 3 from 3. Eric Gordon didn't shoot that well from 3. Every single time they lose to the Warriors, it's always because they're not hitting their threes. And therein lies the problem. Every time a team beats you, you can't blame it on your lack of hitting threes. That's just not gonna cut it. That's not gonna fly. You can't blame it on something that supposedly you didn't do. And to me, that's where I see all the hoopla in this, because how can every single time you lose to a team, and I'm not really counting the regular season. I feel like, this game, the Warriors really took it more to heart than the Houston Rockets. But at the same time, the Rockets should have took it as we could sweep the season series, put more doubt in their minds, and we could send a strong message to them. Like, if you play us in the playoffs, we already beat you 4 times this regular season. It's over. If we play us in the playoffs, they could have did a stronger statement there. And for them to come out lackluster because they thought KD wasn't going to be there, it's not, we could cruise past this. Or I don't know what they were thinking. Or we're gonna hide our true scheme, which is BS to me as well. People coming up with theories like maybe they're withholding things on how they're gonna play in the playoffs. They're not withholding anything. Mike D'Antoni is very straightforward how he plays. There's no new schemes. Only new schemes they do are defensive schemes. Their offense is always the same. Pick and roll, put the ball in Harden or Chris's hands. There's nothing new. And when Harden was trying to get assists, trying to get other guys to knock down shots, they weren't hitting threes. But that's something I had to tell you guys. It's something that you got to understand. See, all these guys, PJ Tucker, I believe the Manimal, some of these guys that are hitting threes during the regular season, when it's the playoff time, or when it's crunch time or a game that another team calls you out, they're not gonna be there. And that's kind of the thing that you gotta understand. It's just like the cream rises to the top. Whatever a guy's really good at doing is gonna rise to the top during crunch time. And for the Houston Rockets, that 3-point shooting that they rely so heavily on, when you're relying on PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, and these guys are like really good 3-point shooters during the regular season. But when it's certain games when it's coming down to where it matters most, they're not hitting, even with James Harden. Now, you can't tell me every single time he's not playing well, it's just because he's not hitting the shot, he's not hitting his three. There's something else. And you got to give credit to the defense. The defense is doing something to make you go 2 for 12. You go 2 for 12, the defense is doing something to you. You can't say that I just had an off shooting that every single time. You miss 29 threes or 27 straight threes in the Western Conference Finals, Game 7. You miss about half, but the other half, the other team has something to do with it. So it's time for them to really start admitting, like, even though we're winning regular season series against the Warriors, we have deficiencies that we have to address. Like Mike D'Antoni was warning against them getting complacent. Every time you lose to a team, it can't be like, oh, I wasn't missing my shot, I wasn't making my shots. Like that doesn't fly as an excuse to me. Like same thing when, for some inexplicable reason, the Spurs beat the Rockets. I think it was like 4-2 or something like that, and it was just like, oh, Harden wasn't hitting his shots. And it's just like, okay, if you're not hitting your shots, you can do other things, which he was trying to do. I could see Harden trying to elevate his game and change his game a bit. He had 10 assists. But here's the problem. You're not going to be able to rely on some of these guys, PJ Tucker, to consistently be those 3-point hitters for you. So, to me, the Rockets really have to take this loss as a really good lesson as to what they want to do in the future playing the elite teams. Because if they're taking away your 3-point shot, and Clint Capella can't get his own post-ups or whatever, what's the next iteration of your team? You saw the Warriors, how they played. When Curry and other guys were bottled up, Boogie was giving it to you. When Boogie couldn't give it to you, they're getting backdoor cuts, getting layups. It's like they have multiple layers and dimensions to their team. But the Rockets, it's like if you take away their 3, what else can they do? And in the playoffs, it's harder to shoot the 3 because teams are loading up, and they're making specific guys shoot the 3, and they know what you're gonna do, so they're to contest it. So I think the fact that the Rockets are taking this so lightly is not a good indicator of their success going forward in the playoffs, because playoff teams, they make adjustments and they take certain things personally. Like losing this kind of caliber game on your home floor, and one of the best players is not there, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's something that I wouldn't even really be happy about. And even trying to come close and trying to win the game at the end like they did last night, that's not even something to be proud of either, because that just tells you something else. Like when James Harden hit that big shot in Golden State, it's just like, is that the only way you're going to beat them? By hitting clutch shots or, just coming barely close to beating them? If that's how you're going to beat them for clutch 3-point shots and stuff like that, then we could already book it that you're not going to beat them, because those are come a dime a dozen. You're going to need 4 or 5 clutch plays to beat them in a series for a 7-game series. I mean, how many clutch shots are you going to hit every single game? I mean, the numbers tell you it's not a lot. So if that's what you're depending on to beat the defending champions, I'm sorry, you got to step it up and you got to think of something else. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.